It's the first show of June, and I'm pretty sure I'm starting to get the effects of hay fever. It's the Michael Muto Show on West Limerick 102 FM. Hey, this is Michael Muto here, and it is the first show of June, as I say. Yeah, I can't believe it's already June. The year is flying. But you know what that means? If it's June, it's Pride Month. Happy Pride Month, everyone. Everyone in the LGBTQ plus community out there, you beautiful people. This is the thing I wanted to remind you. I was asking yesterday on Monday's show, and I asked as well on Twitter, if anyone out there has any ideas about how we here on community radio can either reach out or do stuff for Pride Month. What would you like to hear here on your local community radio station? Maybe you know of some LGBTQ plus activists out there in the area who we should be talking to, hearing their stories of what they've done in the community and things like that. Outreach and all sorts of things like that are brilliant, or any kind of activities that are going on during the month of June. Let us know here at the station, not just for my show, but for any other shows during the month of June. And as well, we'll be talking about it here as well on this show. Any events happening, that is. Anyway, let's move on with the show. We've got a brilliant show for you today. We have the incredibly talented Emma Langford coming on a little bit later with an interview I did with her last Friday. Bit of a funny story. As I was trying to do the interview, there was a flippin' thunderstorm outside my window. So some of the signal might be a little bit not so great, but it turned out to be a pretty great interview nonetheless, even with all technical difficulties aside. It was brilliant crack anyway, and it was a great conversation I had with her. Do you know what? Let's actually have some of Emma's music right now. Here we go. This is Michael Muto here on West Limerick 102 FM. Hey, that was Emma Langford, Limerick City-based musician there with her song Closed Book. I'll be playing my interview with Emma a little bit later on the show. So stay tuned for that. And we've got loads more to talk about as well, and loads more music ahead of us here today on the show on West Limerick 102 FM. But first, before we go anything else, here's some more music. Here is another group from Limerick City. It's the Russ and Ganna family with their song Tea in the Pot. Right, that was Olivia Newton-John, and let's get physical. This is Michael Muto here on West Limerick 102 FM. Let's have some ads right now and talk to you after these messages.
West Limerick 102 FM broadcasts to Limerick City, County and beyond 7 days a week, featuring music for young and old, current affairs, sports, agricultural discussion and all matters relevant to our location. Would you like to advertise on Munster's least expensive radio station? Would you? Well, phone us on 087-254-5721. Packages are available for 1 week, 2 weeks or extended advertising periods. West Limerick 102 FM, your local community radio station. 087-254-5721.
Welcome back. This is Michael Muto here on West Limerick 102 FM. Folks, people make mistakes, don't they? You know? Everyone makes mistakes. Things happen. These kind of things happen. You know? To err is human. Or err is human, I don't know. Anyway, long story short, I announced there before the ads that I was going to be playing the interview with the very talented Emma Langford. Emma, of course, is a musician out of Limerick City, and we were already playing one of her songs there, but I don't have the interview to play for you. This isn't a joke, this isn't a sketch. I have lost the interview. The interview's gone. I deleted it by accident. I know what happened. I saved it in a different format than I usually save things as. And clearing out my computer, I was like, oh yeah, I don't need all this type of stuff. Delete. And then you might be thinking, oh, but maybe it's in your recycling folder or recycling bin. Nope, gone from there as well. So it was totally gone. And I just have to give a shout out though, because one of the people that gave me a bit of a hand here, who was saying that another way it could be saved, was Dave on Twitter. And he's at Dear Bongo. That's at Dear Bongo. Suggested I use a particular type of software. And unfortunately, that did not work. So, yeah. We are in the situation we are in now where I do not have the interview with Emma Langford. Sent Emma a text saying, don't have it. And she said, that's fine. She said it was a bit funny that it all went down. But she said, no worries. Give me a buzz later in the month and we can sort it out again. Or maybe I can call out to you. So she could be here at the station, which would be awesome, rather than just doing it over the phone. Perfect. Anyway, so sorry again about that, Emma. I really was looking forward to sharing the interview. Never happened before. It's never happened before to me where I've lost an interview. But that's how we learn, you know? So now I know to always save a backup of every interview. I'm going to put it onto a hard drive. I'm going to go out and buy a hard drive now soon and put all the interviews on there. And maybe put some up on the cloud as well, you know, save some stuff there like that. So it never happens again. Always keep a copy of everything. I know that for years. I've been using computers for years. Always keep a second copy of everything. I usually do. But messed up. And there we are. Anyway, let's have some more Emma Langford's music. This is Seduction of Eve. Here we go. You're listening to Michael Mura on Western 102 FM.
Trying to find my peace of mind.
So if you're just joining us again, as I say, no interview with Emma Langford today, unfortunately. I announced this last week, announced today, and lost the fight. If you want to hear more of what happened, you can, of course, download the podcast version of the show. Anyway, that'll be available sometime after. Anyway, you're right. So, yesterday, I was out and about, bag of chips, you know, was enjoying it. I thought, you know what? It's a bank holiday Monday. I'll go to the seaside. It'll be lovely. It'll be nice, you know. It'll be a lovely little thing. Out of nowhere, it seemed to swoop out of nowhere. This huge seagull swooped down and stole the chips. Couldn't believe it. I only had like 2 or 3. I couldn't believe it, folks at home. Could not believe. Can you believe this? I was disgusted. Oh, we have a caller on the line. Hello, caller. What? This is the seagull who stole my chips. You're calling into the show. What? Eating the chips now? They must be all cold. Oh, you just pecked at them for a bit and just threw them around the car park. Oh, you fiend. Oh, you'd been stalking me for a while. You didn't really want the chips. You just to mess with me. Monster. You absolute monster. What did you say about my mother? Alright, that's enough of this. I'm not taking abuse from a seagull on my own radio show. Let's take a break right now. Alright, no, we won't take a break. I'm all flushed because of that seagull. Let's have some Rupert Holmes, and Escape, aka the Pina Colada song. This is Michael Mura on Western 102 FM. That was Fox on the Run by The Chase. This is Michael Mura here on Western 102 FM. Folks, talk about bad luck that I could easily have prevented. Of course, I'm talking about me losing the interview with Emma Langford. Again, slap the back of my wrist. Just wondering if that was. But yeah, I can't believe I lost that. But anyway, talk about bad luck as he's prevented, as I say. Yesterday, I was walking around outside in bare feet. It was slightly warm enough on Monday, and well, I thought, well, there's some nice, like, gently melted tar on the road. I'll walk on it. Oh, it feels nice on my feet. And I thought, you know what? It's very squishy. Why don't I try drawing a face with my toes? So I stuck my toe in and drew a little smiley face. And then I thought, right, okay, a bit of stuff is sticky on my feet. I'll try to get it off. And it went all over my hands, all over my feet. I was like, oh my god. So anyway, I scrub, got it all off. There was a bit stuck in my big toe. I said, alright, I scrub, try to get all of it off. Thought I got it off. Was pretty sure I got it off. So do you know what? Whatever's left, I'll go into the bath with it. Right? Now you're pretty ahead of me. You're thinking, that sounds like a bad idea. Went into the bath, and there was tar everywhere inside in the bath. Oh, anyway. But yeah, I scrubbed it off anyway. It was fine. But God, I felt so stupid. I was like, why were you messing with tar on the road? I felt so dumb. Anyway, oh, I am not having the best few days. I'm telling you, I'm a bit of a dope, I think, lately. How about we go and play some BB Rexa? I think that's how you pronounce the name. Meant to Be, featuring Florida Georgia Line. Here we go. Talk to you for this. BB Rexa there. This is Michael Muser on Western 102 FM. Now, perhaps you're about to see, you're leaving Circuit Junior Cert, or you know someone that is, and they are feeling, or you're feeling, stressed. This comes from the journal.ie. Terry Morrissey, Chief Executive Officer of Psychological Society of Ireland, PSI, told Journal.ie, exams can be stressful. It is normal to feel some anxiety. It is important, however, to not let it overwhelm you. Make sure you look after yourself, eat well, get enough rest. Morris said students should think positively and try not to dwell on how they did on each paper, noting that it is better to focus on the next one instead, and how you can show what you have learnt in preparing for the exam. The PSI and Youth Mental Health Organisation Reach Out has compiled evidence to help students handle the exam period. Here are their top 10 tips. Number 1, exam time can be anxious, stressful, and potentially overwhelming experience. Test taking anxiety is normal, and because anxiety is an emotion, it will pass if you give it time. The more you fight it, the longer it will last. So just kind of go with the flow, basically. Which is kind of a skill I guess you learn when you're older. But if you get that when you're doing the leaving cert, you're on a really right track. I'd say if you're able to let anxiety go, if you're able to deal with anxiety at that age, that's amazing. Maybe you're going back doing this again as an older person. I was thinking some of the races going back to the leaving cert, but maybe you are. Why not? Don't forget to mind yourself, especially in the following ways. You should be aiming for 8 or 10 hours of sleep per night. That goes for everyone else as well, by the way. Make sure you try to wind down before going to sleep. Make sure you wind down before going to sleep. You don't go from 5th gear straight to 1st gear when driving a car. Your mind works similarly. How come I can't pronounce that word? Anyway, it needs time to slow down before you're going to sleep. Make sure you eat regularly, keeping the car analogy. Okay, a car won't run without petrol in it. Eat regular meals and eat well. And this will help your ability to think, concentrate, and last the distance. So consult your food pyramid and balance out your meals. And that goes for everyone as well too, by the way. Exercise, and should take my voice as well. Exercise will help relieve some of the build-up of stress and improve your mood. Try to build it into your plan. Walk the dog, or go for a swim, or cycle, or anything to get you active. That's fantastic advice. So if you're feeling anxious, do some exercise. Get outside, or go inside and do exercise if you can't get outside. Whoever you can get it, take the dog for a walk if you've got a dog. That's awesome. Make time for some fun. It's not only allowed, it's recommended. Schedule in specific things you enjoy doing at weekends or during breaks between exams. So definitely do that. Always take time for yourself to do hobbies and things like that. Play games, whatever it is you want to do. have the practical issues. Like, even though people might say, "Oh, you should be studying, should be studying, should be studying," it's like, okay, well, you know what? You've been doing it the whole year, right? You're just reviewing. That's all you're doing. You're reviewing. You're not learning things for the first time. You're just reviewing. So you probably know it already anyway. It's probably in there in your subconscious mind. Being anxious is going to block it, I think, anyway. Number 3, we're on here. Have the practical issues organized in advance, not at the last minute. You should know the following. What's my timetable for the exam period? Have I a printed copy? How am I traveling to the exams? What do I need for each exam? Pens, rulers, calculator, exam number. That's really handy. It's like if you have all your gear with you before going into something like that, it really eases the stress, I think. Like, oh no, I don't have to worry about that because I know it's there, ready to go. So that's one less thing to worry about. You're not running around looking for them as you're going in for the interview, or going for the exam. And the run up to exams as well as the exams themselves can be very tiring, both both physically and mentally. There is a tendency during these times to increase your caffeine intake. Caffeine is a stimulant, the impact of which can mimic feelings of anxiety and interfere with your ability to sleep and concentrate. Where you can minimize your intake of caffeine during exam time. That is very, very true. And from my own experience, I always have a habit of going without food and drinking a lot of coffee, and I ended up making a mess because I'm kind of an anxious person anyway, so that makes me 1,000 times worse. As anyone who was with me in my first year of my art course will tell you, I was a bit odd the last few days. Number 5, try to keep some perspective. Ask yourself the question: in 10 years' time, are you likely to remember what grades you got in exams? That's unlikely. It is really unlikely. You probably won't remember 2 years after. I know I didn't. Try not to despair. This leads to an increase in anxiety, which can impact on exam performance. It's more helpful to focus on what you can do versus what you can't or didn't do. Remember, no matter how the exams go, you always have the option to go, to repeat, to go experience, to return to school as a mature student. As much as you might worry, that exams don't define you as a person, it's all very true. We're all more interesting and important than the grade in our exam, and that's really true. As Robert Bennett's famously said, you can always go back as a mature student. I know a lot of people did that, where they didn't get the results they wanted, went back as a mature student, and ended up doing better because they weren't straight out of secondary school. They had some life experience, things like that. Now, some people are really great going straight into it out of secondary school, and that's brilliant if you can. But if you aren't able to do that, you can always go back and do them again. It really isn't the end of the world. And when I was doing them, they really made out that it was like life or death nearly, and it turns out it's not. Post-mortems, dwelling on what has already happened, will only mess with your head. This is back to the list again. It doesn't help because you can't change the past. Exams rarely turn out as badly as we predicted it will. There's a temptation to take the post-mortem online via social media, something that is unlikely to be helpful. We recommend trying to leave the exam behind you and focus on what you can do for the next exam. If you feel yourself getting overwhelmed, make sure to talk to someone, friends, a family, a teacher. As long as our teacher, you're not going through this experience alone. Support is available. Remember, exams are time limited. There is an end in sight, and hopefully long and enjoyable summer break ahead. That's very true. I think that's very true. And that was Orla Ryan on the journal. Put that piece together. Thank you, Orla Ryan. That was a very good thing. Or who was the person who gave her the list in the first place? I'll go back to that again, actually, if you want to look up her. I've lost. Well, anyway, I'll go back and get that again after the next song. But that's true, though. I think you should, and don't forget to drink water and keep don't get too warm in there. Because remember when I was doing my leaving cert, they had this awful habit in the school I went to where you had to have your full uniform on, which is utterly insane. Completely like buttoned up school uniform for doing an exam. I'm sitting inside doing an exam. Can you imagine anything more stupid in your life? Like, who cares what you're dressed like? I think you should be allowed to wear a t-shirt and whatever you want into an exam. If people are worried about looks, you know what? Maybe you're in the wrong business. Maybe you shouldn't be in a teaching position at all. Anyway, let's go with something upbeat now to keep you going. If you are studying, or I don't know when the exams actually start. Here's Katrina the Waves and Walking on Sunshine. Katrina the Waves there on West Limerick 102 FM. This is Michael Mura here. And before that song, we read out about tips and everything about getting through the exams for your Leaving Cert or Junior Cert. And I was saying I'd find out the name of the person who compiled the lists. It was Terry Morrissey, who's Chief Executive Officer of Psychological Society of Ireland. So there you go. So that's this. Let's see, what have you got next to play? Let's go Wham! Wham there, and waking up before you go. This is West Limerick 102 FM, and it's Michael Miro talking to you here. We're taking a look at some of the news stories here. A Garda bait bikes plan to swoop on thieves leads to arrest in capital, and this is from the Independent.ie. A Garda operation involving so-called bait bikes to lure would-be thieves has led to 16 arrests in the capital, new figures reveal. Bikes were deliberately left on hotspot locations in South City on 50 locations under Operation Chain. Operation Chain? We get like bike chain? With Garda monitoring them, ready to swoop if anyone attempted to make off with them. New figures provided to Social Democrats TD Roisin Shortall suggest the arrests were made in around a third of instances that bait bikes were deployed. Now, Shortall has suggested the operation could be expanded to universities, campuses, and to cities like Cork and Galway in a pilot basis. The Dublin Northwest TD said bike theft is a real problem for cyclists in Dublin City and other cities, and yet, because it is often goes unreported to Gardaí, it's difficult to get a proper sense of the scale of it. That's true, actually. If I had my bike stolen, I'd be thinking, oh, it's not really a car. Are they going to take it seriously? Will I ever get it back? Even though, really, I mean, if you got a bike, it's kind of probably your main mode of transportation if you're living in a city. It's really handy. You know, you don't have to worry about like tax or anything. You don't have to worry about getting a bike license. You just have to buy the bike and away you go. You don't have to, if you want to ride a bike, you're grand. Garda's novel use of decoy bikes as a type of honey trap for thieves. I like that though. Could be useful deterrent, she said. She said any such operation should be justified by a high rate of arrests and an appropriate number of prosecutions. Ms. Shortall stressed that prevention is always better than cure, and noted the need for bike users to have good locks. She also said that offices, apartment blocks, and third-level institutions should have proper facilities where people can park their bikes and not left on the streets. It's very true. Operation Chain was devised by local Garda management in the Purstrees Garda's district. In the information provided to Ms. Shortall, Justice Minister Charlie Flanagan outlined how it is an intelligence-led operation and involves cooperation with the Dublin City Council. Gardaí have a number of bait bikes that are deployed at hotspot locations by community policing units. The bikes are kept under surveillance by Gardaí, who intercept individuals attempting to steal them. There are also follow-up inquiries with online retailers to see if the individual has been involved in attempts to sell bikes through websites. The 16 arrests occurred in the year up to March. For those cases, 7 have been finalised with outcomes including 3 offenders receiving a Prohibition Act, 1 prison sentence, sentenced to community service, and another receiving an adult caution. 6 other cases before the courts. Well, I don't know why I got shocked when I heard prison sentence, but you never think of prison when you think of someone stealing a bike. You know, have you ever been tempted to steal a bike? I know I have. You know, it's a long day, but a hot day. God, I'd love to steal a bike. Not because you need it, just because you want to steal a bike. No, I'm just kidding. But no, but you know, you're walking around and you see, you're like, oh, God, I'm tempted. But you don't, because you think, oh, that's probably someone probably loves that, no? That bike. But yeah, so that's cool. But I was thinking though, because I guess if it was like an ink bomb kind of thing, with like fake money, it's like put your hands in the mic and poof, a lot of ink all over your face. Let's take some more music now. let's go with Survivor and their song Eye of the Tiger. You're listening to Michael Muro here on Western 102 FM. Right, that was Down Under by Men at Work. This is Michael Muro here on Western 102 FM, and that is about my lot for this Tuesday morning. Hope you folks have enjoyed yourself. I've enjoyed some of it. I didn't enjoy losing the interview. That really sucked. But thank you though to Emma Langford who took time out of her day last Friday to talk to me. I know she's incredibly busy, and I appreciate that, and I really do hope we can get Emma on the show again. Totally my fault. I'm an idiot. Can't believe I lost the interview. That's crazy. Deleted it by accident if you missed it earlier on. Anyway, thank you to @DearBongo on Twitter, who suggested a way that I could possibly get it back, but unfortunately it was unrecoverable. And thank you to you, the good listener out there who's been tuning in, perhaps from 9 o'clock, maybe from 9 o'clock, or maybe in the last 10 minutes, but however long you've been listening, thank you for tuning in. Hope to see you again soon. Until then, I've been Michael Muto. I hope you have a fantastic week and enjoy the rest of your day. Here is some more music. You're listening to Michael Muto here on West America 102 FM. See you later.